folks. Garrod Murphy here live in Dublin. So if you don't know, a number of people were stabbed allegedly by an Algerian migrant in Dublin city centre today. Sorry, toxic fumes here. And a number of whom were children leaving school, basically, on Parnell Street East, I think it is, where I'm near now. There's been a little bit of an angry response from people around, so the city seems to be shut down, basically. Share this if you want to. I know from what I know, Philip Dwyer is live. I'm sure he's doing a great job as well. Stay wherever you want, but yeah. So Gardaí seem to have shut the city centre down. I've just arrived. I don't know what's going on. I've been busy. I barely know what happened originally. I know there was a stabbing. A number of children were injured, some critically, and it's alleged to be an Algerian who perpetrator. So we have here a legion of Gardaí. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. They've been training for this for years. The so-called far right are the big boogeyman, obviously, preparing for a response to the government policies of plantation immigration. So this is their basically whole raison d'etre at this point. The guards, not the individual guards, but the force, led by Drew Harris, obviously. His when the who are you? Where are you now? Some cunt up there, excuse me. But anyway, so that's some curly hipster, I'd say. Anyway, so so that's the guards doing what they do. Yeah, and holy moly, whoa. Yeah. There's only so much to say about it, really. Like I've said, the crime happened earlier. This is the response. It's pretty crazy, actually. But it is, I mean, it's hard to ignore the hypocrisy here. Obviously, the guards are here for a reason. There obviously is what could be described reasonably enough as a riot. Burning cars, fair enough. But I know they have to respond, but there's something about the way every time there's one of these protests, even if it's a non-violent, peaceful protest, you're always going to have dozens and dozens and dozens of guards ready, lined up, all drilled, trained. But when there's stuff going on affecting Irish people in their towns and villages, they're kind of nowhere to be seen, So it's just, I don't want to talk any more about that. It's kind of obvious, isn't it? But this is what Dublin City has become, and is going to become, almost like a civil war scenes, yeah? I'm going to go change location, I think, because I can't go past these lads. Sorry lads, I'm on video there, I don't know. Do you know what's actually blocked on this side? Do you know what, like, are they blocked from every side? Yeah, they're blocked on every single side. So what's actually blocked up? All the all of our street, yeah. And Parnell Street up there. Yeah. So it's just a big lap around down to the bridge.
Yeah, so every single guard.
Mad. So the lines, I'm not pointing this at you, but so it's like this line of guards on every entrance, yeah? So every little small street has a line of guards all the way across.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I see?
See the live stream? Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, there's not much. It's no biggie, like, but it's only a few viewers or whatever. But it's more just for after. I'm just trying to capture everything, But because people are at home, there's people all over Ireland basically who know what's happened today. You know about the stabbing that happened. Yeah. So there's people all over the country know what happened. They're obviously sitting at their phones waiting to find out what happened in detail. So I'm just showing people basically what's going on, But Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? Are you living local, yeah?
Well, them fingers.
You
All
can't
right.
get past. No.
You can try.
I'd love to watch him try, yeah. Yeah. Alright, here. Cheers, see you. Right. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to do a bit. I don't want to monologue for you here. You know, I could ramble on about this, but I just want to kind of show you what's happening, really, more than anything I have to say. It's crazy. I just, for the record, I lived in this area of Dublin for 3 years, just before the lockdown. This would be the north inner city, kind of in the just the Parnell Street kind of area, Mountjoy Square, Gardiner Street, and all of that. I lived on just off Mountjoy Square. It was an absolute nightmare back then. It's worse now. It's as bad as the place can be, as you can imagine. Every second building, every second door you walk past around here is some sort of phone repair. Oh, helicopters, sirens all over the city, by the way. Yeah, phone repair, a fake Somalian shop that's really probably human trafficking, money transfer, you name it. And basically it's all, for the most part, the front. If you have eyes in your head, you can tell that it's a front for human trafficking, for labour, sex trafficking, probably children as well, drugs, and just as well as just migration scams, all of that. So yeah, so now we have helicopters. Yeah, but Dublin is this specifically this part of Dublin is really, really bad. Can't even begin to describe it. And yeah, it's I hope it's kind of coming across here. Like, this is obviously a different type of night, but the same bad vibe is always here. It's always under the surface, and that's the fact as well. This migrant stabbing several kids, or the local, what could you call it, an uprising among young fellas around here. Either way, it's not natural what's been done. There's a lot of anger and a lot of resentment, and there's a lot of violence just under the surface, as we saw with the stabbing of the kids. These migrants who were brought in, effectively third world countries emptying their prisons out to get rid of their own bad people. And of course Ireland has a hotel or a military barracks or something waiting for them, maybe on Parnell Street or whatever. This treasonous government doing this, and there's naturally going to be a response. You know what? I'm just covering it, but yep. So that's the Holiday Express, guys. People are not happy. Share this if you want, guys, you know, feel free. Everything is shut down, obviously. Okay, I've gotten onto O'Connell Street now. I think the guards obviously have just fallen back or whatever. Clearly, the Lewis is stopped, the buses are stopped. Yeah, boys are looking very suspicious toward me there now because I have a camera. What?
Walk away if you are.
I know, yeah. There's dozens of people on cameras. There's no stopping. Yeah. I know what you mean. I get it.
If you think people are on, you'll just be careful.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, here. There's plenty up around as well. Yeah. Good point. Fucking hell. Okay. So here we have the riot squad. Okay, I'm getting into the thick of it here a little bit, just to cover it journalistically. A lot of anger. You could say it's misplaced anger, yeah. But at the same time, it's fair enough. What other way have people had to vote against this, yeah, or protest about it, or be heard? in the media. They don't. Everybody gets shut out. Far right this, far right that. And then when people like Aisling Murphy and these poor children today get hurt, they just get called far right again. They get strategically pushed out of government. Realistically, it's not a democracy, so there isn't really a better way for people to, or at least people feel like they don't have a better way to express themselves, yeah? Okay, this is going to get pretty nasty in a while. I'd say these guards are going to make a run at some point. They're going to make a run at some point, for sure. Or they're going to play some kind of move and box people in. But, look, at the end of the day, I believe in discourse and a little bit of a reasonable exchange, political ideas, and a fair resolution, but that's not really been on offer, has it? And this is the anger, you know. As well, these inner city young fellas, yeah, they've had their communities destroyed. There's nowhere been planted harder in Ireland, nowhere, than the inner city of Dublin, where these lads live, and they never had much. And the only thing they did have was their community and each other and their little bit of tribalism in their own place. And they've had literally hundreds of thousands of largely unvetted foreigners pumped into their communities. That doesn't happen in Dalkey, sorry. Yeah. That doesn't happen in Dalkey, yeah? So that's the problem. Okay, we're going to keep walking. You've seen that. Sorry. Sorry. Hi everybody. So that's me. Trying to pull up chat here. Okay. I haven't YouTubed in a while. I know the screen is vertical. It shouldn't be. 2 seconds. Sorry, I shouldn't be this close. What's the crack? Yeah, I'm trying to remember how to do a live stream.
Yeah, bad from the get-go when the guards goes up.
Yeah? Do you want to talk? Do you want to talk?
Be better off not.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, I'm just talking to an old pal here. You're not on, but right, what's the story? Should I go down there for a look, or? Alright, see you in a while. Cool, go on, see you. Sorry, I'm talking into the camera like this. I shouldn't be doing that. Listen, sorry. Look, I haven't streamed in a long time, and I don't know, I'm not used to it. So, yeah, O'Connell Street is shut down. Just let me know there if you would rather I talk to you like this, or do you just want to see everything and I'll shut up? Let me know in the chats. I don't mind either way. Yeah. Bit of both, someone says. Okay, fair enough. So, helicopters hovering. I just can't put across, right? As someone who's spent a lot of the last several years in a lot of the last, let's say, 10 years in Dublin, in and around Dublin city centre, in and around where I am right now. This place has been a festering boil, right, for years. Barely any Irish people around. It's a lot of drug addiction, a lot of heroin addicts and that. And a lot of, obviously, foreigners, right? All sorts. And I've described already the North Inner City. It's just full of people who, God knows who they are. What? Oh, always. Do you think I'm a bad journalist?
No, I know, but just
Oh, sound, yeah. Yeah, what's the truth, though? I won't put you on camera. Well, how do you feel about what happened today?
There should be more like this.
There should be more like this,
They
yeah?
should be on fire.
Yeah.
Like if it was my child, they'd all be on fire.
Yeah. What do you make of what's happened to Dublin in the last 10, 20 years?
Oh, she's
Yeah.
only after saying about Randy was dug out of the grave alone. She couldn't even recognise the place.
I know. It's bad.
Disgusting.
It's bad,
And no one
bad.
cares about it. They
Yeah.
only care about money and voting.
Yeah, they won't stop. Yeah, it's mad. I know. Anyway, look, see you. Take care. Bye. But yeah, I don't like putting people on camera or whatever. So I was just talking to someone else as they went by there. They thought I might be like a journalist in the sense of when they think of a journalist, they mean someone who's hired basically by the regime or by the state to spin and lie and demonize them, get them sacked from their jobs, and make everyone out here to be supposedly far right and blah blah blah. They think that if I've got a camera and I'm recording, I'm probably here to do that, but of course I'm not. Yeah. So I will turn the camera away from me when I come up to see something interesting, but so far it's just what I've already shown you. The street is shut down, there's pedestrians, but that's it. It just goes to show that as well, in terms of the stabbing earlier, which is awful, obviously. It just goes to show that the Irish, let's call it resistance, like the local young fella, working class, you call it, or whatever it is people say, that kind of resistance is right there under the surface, and they do have the capacity. Okay, so the bottom of the street here seems to be on fire. We'll get to that in a second. Heavily on fire. Okay, anyway, this is quite a night. I've seen a lot of things in my day now. I've been reporting from Pearse Street. I've reported from Uachtarard. I've seen a lot of things, but this is next level. I'm going to show you just from here. People are talking about murdered children. People are angry, yeah? Now this is the capital city, not just the capital city, the main street of a capital city of a major Western country. We're a small country, but we have a lot of impact, right? It's Ireland. Everybody knows of Ireland. We're in the capital, the main street of the oh shit! What's going on here? Something's happening here, guys. Yeah, I don't know. People are running. Do you know? People are running, so there's something bad going on. Boys, what happened there? Guards, is it? Ah, yeah. Okay, flashbangs from the guards. Huh? Yeah. Flashbangs. So yeah. So what I was going to say is that this is what the policies of 20 years? 20 years ago, Ireland was a normal place before this plantation migration, and what we're seeing now is the response to that. It was a normal place, pretty serene, pretty relaxed, and it's descended into effectively massive civil unrest, which is happening every day at a low level anyway. And now it's just boiling over the top. That's all this is. You know, how can you call this civilized? This is what Roderick O'Gorman and Leo Varadkar and Micheál Martin and Mary Lou McDonald, right? They're not, all of them. And they're only puppets anyway. The people who are really in charge of all this are this is their fruits of their work, right? A city that is absolutely hanging on by a thread makes Gotham City look like looks like a pleasant village, utopia. This is what they've done. This is not good. Yeah. This is what happens when you build a society on replacement migration, demonization of nationals, I suppose you could say globalism, globalist economics, driving people out of their own communities, putting their kids in danger, and basically destroying their world around them. It's going to have some ugly side effects eventually, especially if you check this out. Especially if you make it impossible to voice dissent against this stuff. If you make it impossible to voice dissent against this stuff democratically, through the media, through activism, in legitimate ways where we have conversations and say, this migration is too much. We don't want people like Aisling Murphy getting murdered. We don't want this happening. We don't want someone who is was a known sex offender coming into the country and hanging around, cycling around on his bike for 10 years doing nothing but looking for women to rape and kill. And the same with this random Algerian, allegedly, who was walking around Dublin, lashing out at stabbing children. People in Ireland just want a safe place to raise their children, a clean, safe, normal place. They don't want utopia, they don't want rainbows and lollipops, they just want a safe place to get on with their lives. And the state insists on tearing that apart in front of us. So, you could say that this was a while coming. So, you know, I've been doing this for years. Campaigning against replacement migration, unvetted males being dumped in by the busload to communities in the inner city in Dublin and also in villages across the country. I've been campaigning against that, making two 3-hour-long videos going into detail about the moral, political, logistical, economic reasons, everything against this replacement migration, why the majority are against it, and why that should be listened to. Ignored. Dragged through the Irish Times, called far right. That's what normal people have too. They get fired from their jobs. So, I don't like this. I'll show you now. I don't like it, but this is what the state is creating, right? These kind of scenes. Anyway, look, I'll turn it around. Welcome to Dublin, everybody.
Gloria, this is the thing, right?
Pretty sure there's not much more you can do to that bus, really. To be honest, yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, someone says careful about that bus might go up. You're right. I'm a council estate boy, so we were lighting a lot of stuff on fire as children for the Bonna and such, and grew up taking big risks. Probably lucky to still have our faces on it. But maybe standing next to a flaming bus in my 30s is a step too far, so I'll step back a little bit. Bum. Yeah, there she goes. Okay guys, I'm just getting messages here and updates. It's hard to know what to say. It's like to talk about the incident earlier. We saw what happened. Ireland has been pretty angry for a few weeks now in regards to the Aisling Murphy affair already. But this incident is shocking in its own right. But in a way, it's part of the same. It's part of the same anger. All of this. Yeah, I've heard there's something going on with the Lewis, so I'm just going to go back. But it's just like, okay, I'll just make a quick point here, right? Even if you're not anti-plantation immigration like I am and many other people are, you have to just look at this and think, how do we get to this point, right? Where in one day there's a couple of children stabbed by some random person who just really shouldn't be in the country, obviously, right? And sorry for the old blasphemy there. That was very loud. People are clutching their hearts. That was loud. Okay, so this is such a chaotic, and I've seen a lot, right, reporting like this. I've never seen a environment more chaotic and, I'll be frank and honest, dangerous and volatile as this. This is they talk about third world. This is I don't know. It's a war zone, basically. This is like something I grew up watching on the news in a different country. And what I was going to say is that even if you're pro the migration, look at what they've created. Multiple children getting stabbed, and then these people didn't just come out because they want to smash stuff, right? They can do that any day if they want to. People across the country are very angry, and this is what's happened. No one can be in support of this. No one can support these policies. It's not even about just a bit of normal migration. It's just about being anti-invasion. Oh my God, this is crazy stuff. The whole place is just crazy, guys. I can't even put that across. Like, yeah. Runners. Yeah. I heard that Lewis was on fire.
I didn't hear that. No.
Yeah, I heard it. So yeah. And you know what? Half of the people here are just kind of foreigners. I look kind of amused. What's the crack? Army. I'll go have a look. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if that's gas.
What kind of gas? Okay, I've been told the army are ahead of me. A guy stopped me, told me to be careful not to go any further because the army are up here. For journalistic reasons, I'm going to go a bit further.
Are you sure?
Yeah. So this is the result, the stabbing of several children and a couple of adults as well earlier outside their school. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's how people might feel, yeah. Yeah, this isn't right, you know. In small doses, immigration will turn around. Immigration in a reasonable dose, reasonable moderate dose, slowly over time, judiciously picked and all that. Immigration is inevitable in any country, right? Has been for millennia. This is different. This is plantation. This is an assault on human dignity. It's an assault on Ireland. It's an assault on the safety of people's children and their families and themselves. And I don't know, is it for profit? Is it for power? But they're not willing to discuss it. They're not willing to have people on TV to have a reasonable discussion about it. Get them out. They're not willing to do that. They just call everybody far right. And you know what that means? That means you're fired from your job. You're blackballed from your community, blacklisted. That's all they want to do. And so this is the outcome. Smoke, flames, carnage, complete civil unrest in Dublin city centre. Because what other way do people have? How else are we supposed to do it? But you know, I'm just covering this, yeah. Since 2016, I've been publicly opposing this, peacefully, politically, intellectually, trying to just make a reasonable argument, not listen to. So, guys, this is really, I can't even describe how incredible this is. I've been at Pearse Street a few months ago. It was fairly intense. Oughterard was fairly intense in its own way in County Galway. This is okay. So people are running. Yeah. So the Gardaí are advancing, or soldiers. So we've heard about soldiers. I hope they don't start shooting people here. So we have a bus. Buses, vehicles on fire on either end of O'Connell Street. The air is thick with smoke. Helicopters are circling overhead. It's chaos. And this, of course, outside the GPO, where the 1916 Rising was held. It's a scary time, guys, I'm telling you. There has to be a political solution for this, you know. This is an outburst, and I believe, I don't want to condone it or whatever, because let's say I'd be in trouble and all that. It's I'm a journalist, so I don't want to be weighing in or whatever. But and you don't want to be implicating yourself, let's say, right? However, it's understandable, and what's happening. But on the other hand, this isn't actually going to achieve anything. This is sending a message. Everybody can see what's going on, but in a way they want this, like this has to be brought to a political solution, I believe, anyway. The regime, if they want any kind of stability or to even exist going forward, they're going to have to sit down and have a talk with some legitimate people, people who are against this plantation, and talk about what we can do to stop it and reverse it, because it has to be. There's no getting away from it now. This baked into the cake, this kind of chaos and social unrest is going to be, at a certain point, this is going to be weekly. It's just going to be the way it is everywhere. Whether it's unvetted migrants killing children, or whether it's a feisty response from locals, and a complete breakdown of social order, which really follows a breakdown of the social contract. Let's be honest. What you're seeing here on this street is not exactly normal, right? People don't just wake up in the morning and decide to act like this. This is a result of the breakdown of the social contract. The social contract is that the government represents the people. It doesn't try to replace the people. It doesn't try to put them in danger. It doesn't try to make them a minority in their own country within 50 years, make them and their children unsafe in their own community, make houses so expensive that you can't live here. Irish people have to flee abroad, while migrants come and get put up in 4-star hotels for free, while working at the same time. Here they come. Protesters waving the Irish flag outside the GPO, famous GPO of 1916, in front of these globalist thugs, these faceless globalist thugs. Nothing needs to be on fire, nothing needs to be smashed. Yeah, hey, he says everything does. But what I'm saying is that nothing needs to be done like that. We don't need riot police. We can actually have a normal society where like Ireland of the past, where the police were barely even there. They never had batons really, or not that much, or rarely needed them. They weren't armed. There was no armed police, because there was a social contract there where there was a pact between the state and the people, the rulers and the ruled, an agreement, a reasonable middle ground between them, that the people don't do this kind of thing, but the government don't try to intentionally genocide and ethnically cleanse Irish people in their home country. So that's the issue here. That's the issue. What you're seeing here is a collapse of the social contract initiated by the globalist regime in Ireland. It's not about a government. There is no Fine Gael, there's no Fianna Fáil, there's no Sinn Féin, there's no Greens, there's no people before profit, right? There's just this, the multinational corporations, the US, I suppose, State Department, and the European Union, various global institutions are running Ireland in a certain way, and they're trying to make Irish people a minority, and just turn it into just some sort of hellhole with no identity and no nationality, so that they can have complete control over the landmass. That's basically it, as far as, and they can, of course, while they're doing it, international finance and all of that can exploit the situation, milk it, and basically enslave people. But that's just my point of view. I think everybody at some level understands that a little bit. And here we are. By the way, this is a historic night, right? This isn't just another bit of argy-bargy. There hasn't been anything like this in Dublin. I don't know. There were riots a couple of decades ago in Dublin for something or other. I can't remember what it was. I think this is fairly unprecedented, lads, to be honest. Hey, do you get some shoes, yeah? Cool. Our man there got some shoes. Yeah, what's the story? Yeah. We had some other lads as well. Okay, so yeah. Just had just saw an African gentleman there with 2 boxes of shoes in his hand. So he must have bought them earlier before the riot started. So this is chaos. You know what I mean? Half the people out here. The people rioting are Irish young fellas from Dublin, but half the people just standing around, as usual, are foreigners, just kind of looking bemused and bewildered a little bit. At people, sorry. Yeah. Lads, this is nuts. Oh, whoa, whoa. Huh? Stop it, yeah? Oi. So, some young fellas there getting a bit Do you not know what's going on?
Oh no, yeah, it was everywhere. Like I don't know where.
Oh, where's the middle? Like, I know what
like
you
we
mean.
don't know what is actually where.
Yeah, it's mad.
Alright, I don't know.
Yeah, where actually are the coppers?
Oh yeah. Some fella just made a good point. Where are the coppers? That's a good idea. It's a good point. They're not around, are they? Yeah, it's spooky. Yeah, they've kind of disappeared. The old Gardaí have disappeared, you know, but which is a bit ominous. Oh, Philip Dwyer, look at this. 2 streamers collide. Yeah. What's the story? Are we streaming each other or what? Okay, I'm going to put. I'm not putting you away. I'll just point you out. I'm going to talk to Phil Dwyer. Yeah, 2 secs there now, guys. Okay. So yeah. Oh, what's the crack? I'll stream from this end as well. So.
I'm horrible. Excuse my language.
What? Does your thing only go vertical as well? Because mine only goes vertical, yeah?
Yeah,
it's annoying, isn't it?
On Twitter it does. I only have
Yeah.
So I'm sick to my stomach about what's happened here today.
Okay, yeah, fill me in actually. So, fill me
It's
in.
been a knife attack. And,
Okay, we got some. People running again. Oh, it's coming from every side here, lads. Flashbangs, explosions, I don't know what to call it. Okay, so Phil, what's the crack?
sorry.
What's the crack?
Yeah, I don't know what you've heard, but
I've heard the number of children and adults stabbed. Yeah.
but the 7-year-old child is confirmed dead now.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the other one is I don't know, they're in hospital. I don't know what's after happened with the lady as well. It was the school teacher. This is allegedly an Algerian national who's after responsible for this. And can you feel the anger now?
I think just about, yeah. Can I just ask you a question? Okay, that's first off. Obviously, I'm not a politician, so I don't have statements or whatever. Obviously, that's tragic. It's horrific, and my condolences go to that child's family. I don't have words for it, right? But just as we're here, you and I have been doing this for years, yeah? We've both been in Pearse Street. We were both around the block. You've been around the country. We've seen a lot of stuff, yeah? This is something else. This is like something from Serbia or Kosovo or something else.
But it's something we didn't predict, Carol. We were trying to warn people about this.
Yeah. I said to people watching here my own stream a while ago that since 2016, 17, 18, I released the asylum industry in 2018, begging people as rationally and as nice. I was sweet as pie, right?
And we were laughed at, basically.
I was called far right in the Irish Times. That makes it hard to secure a normal job or a good job in Ireland because it's always going to hunt you around the place. That's meant to blacklist and destroy your life. So that's what's happened to people who've spoken out. Here we go. We gotta move.
Guys.
Sorry, here, Phil, but not to ramble, but just what I'm saying is that you and I and many others have talked their asses off for the last 5-6 years and begged someone to be reasonable and just have a normal stop this madness. Stop the madness. Enough is enough, and nobody's listening. So here we are. You know, it's unfortunate, for sure.
The anger here, the behaviour of the guards earlier on as well.
Tell me about it. I didn't see it.
Exactly. Well, I got brutally assaulted by an inspector. It wasn't just
I'm sure he had his eye on
guard.
you. Yeah.
He did. He knew exactly who I was.
Yeah.
And I got 1 or 2 belts off from the public order unit, and then this guy weighed in, and absolutely vicious.
Yeah.
You could see I had a camera. I wasn't a threat to anyone. I wasn't inciting any violence or anything else. And brutally. I'll have to check out now when I go home.
Where were you hit on the head or what?
All my legs and the side of my body.
All right.
So anyway, I said to him,
Yeah.
fucking go.
Okay, well look, you're made of tough stuff, so you know it'll be hard to hurt you.
As I said, nobody wants to see this, but
No.
it was inevitable, and we've tried to tell people.
But
was on the way.
okay, listen, here's one thing, right? I'll just make one point. You can say a million things. There are dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of pro-immigration, the Irish Refugee Council, all this, NGOs promoting mass immigration. Millions of people that'll make Irish people, if they're not already a minority in their own community, in their own towns and cities, right? They have dozens and dozens, hundreds of NGOs who are funded to the tune of tens and hundreds of millions, some say billions, in Ireland to promote that. Why isn't there one NGO that is against migration to balance it out? If it's going to be state funded, then that would be a reasonable thing. Fair enough, right? Something like that. But you know, that's a situation.
It's a rigged game.
It's a rigged game, and that situation is untenable. You cannot have democracy in that situation. You can't have not a nation. You can't have a social contract, and so you end up with this. So don't anybody act surprised or say, "Oh, it's just these thugs running wild." No, this is the consequence of the state breaching the social contract. That's what it is.
Come here, Garlow. Thanks again.
Go on. Here, see you.
Be careful, yeah?
Yeah, you too. All right. See you on the other side. Thanks very much. Yeah.
Cover the state, he's dead right.
Yeah.
All got to do with the state, the whole lot is.
Yep.
Fair play, nice name.
No bother, man. Yeah. It's going to be a long road ahead.
It's going to be a long road ahead, but this is needed, to be honest.
Yeah.
But there is.
So yeah, folks, a lot of viewers there. I suppose it's kind of unsurprising, but yeah. I'll just walk around, okay? See, one of the things about this, by the way, guys, I hope you can hear me okay there, but one of the issues here as well is that the crowd is kind of dispersed a little bit. It's kind of all over the place everywhere, right? There's a bit up here. What's the crack? There's a bit up here, there's a bit down there, it's all over the place. Now, of course, the guards, who have largely sort of disappeared, maybe they have doctrines for how to deal with these things, so I don't know, are they preparing to crush people or are they just playing some other kind of strategy? But the nature of these things is that the crowd doesn't have a unified plan, and the police or the forces usually do. So I wonder what's afoot. you know, here. But this is a complete breakdown of social order in Dublin, instigated by the state. Okay? Because at a certain point, people. Oh, you were? Yeah, cheers, mate. Go on, see you. Yeah, nice one. But I'm going to stay away from this bus. But yeah. Look at this flag flying. I wonder if this smoke cannot be good for anybody here, but I wonder if Michael Collins and Padraig Pearse could have ever imagined it coming to this. Where Irish people are basically a minority in their own country already. And if they're not, they're soon going to be. Demonised minority. Demonised by their own state. Okay, we got some action here, some movement. Yeah. These kind of murmurations are happening there routinely, but what's that? Yeah, I think that's just the bus. A death agony. Yeah, this is sad because I grew up in a. Not just this. Again, this isn't the fault of the people who are here. This is just as sure as night follows day. This is a consequence of the government breaching the social contract as they have, and they know what they're doing. You know, they know they're pushing people. But it's sad. I just want it to stop. I just want it to stop. I want to live in a country where you have a rough idea of who's around the place, where mass immigration isn't used to drive up house prices, alienate people from their own communities, all that kind of stuff. That sort of thing. So, you know, I just want a little slice of the Ireland I grew up in the 90s. I want a little bit of that back because it was beautiful. And everybody knew each other and everybody looked each other in the eye and was friendly. And we had a culture. And when you went out in public, there were sort of shared values, shared expectations, shared texture of the old social fabric. And now that's gone. We're strangers. We are absolute foreigners in our own country, exiles in our own country. While these politicians and bankers down there and multinational corporations and landlord gombeans and a whole host of people get rich off of it, the vast majority of Irish people are being people a few years ago who were middle class. And this is because of plantation migration, make no mistake. People who used to be middle class and pretty comfortable are now getting up to the edge. The edge that used to be reserved for the people at the bottom rungs of society, people who were really doing badly and had real misfortune, were on the margins, trying to hold on by a thread to having a roof over their head, having heat, having food to eat for their kids. That was unimaginable for a lot of Irish people even a few years ago. And they've been driven into borderline destitution and poverty. And that would be one thing if there just wasn't enough to go around. But there are thousands and thousands of these Algerians, like the alleged guy today, perhaps, or Joseph Puska, sitting around in either plantation centres or free 5-bedroom houses, and they're coming in by the thousands every few weeks and months. In the last couple of years, we've had a few 100,000. That's the size or greater than the size of Cork City, Ireland's second biggest city, or the Republic anyway. So the anger is felt. This is the so-called working class in Dublin anger. Yeah, that has its own reasons. They've been marginalised and pushed out and not listened to. You see that with East Wall. But it's also the middle classes and everyone, to be honest. And that's what it's time for all Irish people to sort of unite on this. You're never going to get the Gombeans. They're making too much money. The multinationals, the compradors, they're always going to be bought into the destruction because it's fine for them. they'll live in Dalkey behind big massive walls, and they'll fly to a different country every few weeks anyway. So what does it matter to them? But the people who actually want to live in a ordinary house in an ordinary town in Ireland and just have a good life in a good community, in a safe community, in a community that is stable and people know each other. For people the vast majority of Irish people who fit that criteria, that's been taken away. You can't have it. You're paying, what is it? I don't know, maybe 1,600 quid to try and rent a house for your family in, somewhere like Letterkenny, right? You can't go any further. People are being left without options now. So, okay, so there's a bit of running going on here, guys. Yep. Okay, so obviously they're just clearing O'Connell Street off. So they've basically cleared O'Connell Street, pushed everybody off that. So now everybody's down to the bridge. The helicopter is still flying. I'm sure several of them are. But yeah. Again, this is our country, he says, yeah. The thing is, right, is that all of this social unrest, which, like I've said several times, all this social unrest is a consequence of the state breaching the social contract, and also just breaching it, but tearing it to shreds and laughing at the people while they do it, right? That's what this is a consequence of. But if they want this to stop, and they want the protests to stop where people were shutting down the M50 and people are saying certain things and towns aren't happy and councillors have to go ashen-faced in front of their villages and explain why there are 300 Arab, Algerian, whatever it is, men, God knows who, coming into the...
Many people are here with colour. There's loads of different people here. Loads of different people. The guard are at the beating of a woman on the corner. Did you get that on camera?
No.
Well, there's I'm telling you now, do me a favour, watch them people there, right? And watch how they treat those people there. That's all I'm asking.
I'll watch. I will. Okay, so I'll just wrap up my blabber here. What I'm saying is that if they want any of this to stop, because this stuff is going to keep happening, more people like Aisling Murphy and this poor child who I'm told has died, that's going to keep happening, and aggressive responses are going to keep happening. And then they act like there's nothing they can do about it. All you have to do is stop bringing in hundreds of thousands of random men who nobody knows who they are, and forcing them into communities, even though the vast majority of people in any town or city and the vast majority of the nation as a whole are against it. They're all against it. The democratic mandate is there. There should be no issue. It's legally possible. It's morally possible. That's what they usually cite, legal and moral obligations. They have a legal and moral obligation to the Irish people. And all they have to do is they don't even have to take an action. They just have to stop taking in hundreds of thousands of dodgy men from all over the world and shoving them around the country in cities and towns and villages alike. They stop that, everybody here goes back to their life, just lives their own life. These aren't people who are professional protesters, professional NGO funded activists. These are just people who are pissed off. You alright?
What are you saying?
I'm just talking to the camera.
You better have a talking shy about us.
About ye?
Yeah.
About who's us?
All of us.
Oh no, I'm on your side. Trust me. Yeah. Yeah. See that? Oh, here they come. Sorry, I'm trying to turn this camera around, guys. Sorry. Okay, here they are. Just letting you know. I can't turn my camera around. I don't know why, guys. Sorry. Trying to walk away from the goon squad here. This is really kind of annoying now, but because I want to turn my camera around. Sorry. There we go. Okay.
No one's moving.
Stand your ground. Hold on, don't move. Any night gunners go!
You foot locked up.
Okay, I'll call you in.
You foot locked up.
You fucking done me!
Do you know what's interesting as well? Is that there's a lot of people with their phones out recording, you know, as people do. You record anything you see. But I've got a selfie stick and I'm talking into a selfie camera as I am now. So it kind of gives off this air of it's not just another guy with a his camera phone out. It's potentially some sort of journalist or activist. Maybe he's what people think of as left wing or liberal, globalist, that kind of thing, or like RTE or Irish Times. In short, good lad. In short, they might for a second think I'm a journalist, a regime journalist. And the first thing, you know, there's so many Dublin heads here will be suspicious and call you out on the spot. That's how much there's a breakdown between even the media and just people in general. You know, that there's not even a hint of, like, there's no trust at all from people towards what they think is a journalist. Oh, that was some guard just chucked the chair in the river. Why is he doing that? Is he going to do another one? The guard's chucking chairs into the Liffey. Why are you doing that? That's littering. What's that about? What's that about? They could just leave it there, no?
Yeah, no, but there are plenty of people picking up, but like their line is there. That's ridiculous.
Just leave it on the fucking floor or whatever, on the ground, yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's mad, yeah.
It's like an apocalypse, isn't it?
It's like Gotham City at like when when Gotham City goes bad.
Yeah,
like not
yeah.
just any Gotham, but at the end of the movie.
Yeah. Were you down there earlier?
Yeah, I was there.
The Lewis and all?
I didn't see the Lewis.
Weren't it Lewis and a bus?
I'm not recording you, by the way.
No,
Disappointed.
yeah.
Well, okay, so there was a Lewis. They burnt out a Lewis.
Yeah. They pulled the bars out with something and started smashing the windows. They all got smashed. Got cardboard boxes.
Yeah.
Threw them in, lit them on fire.
Yeah.
Lewis went up, bus went up beside it.
Right.
And then you could hear the engines blowing and everything.
That's
and then
mad.
they've basically charged everyone down to here. So there's
I've
been
seen
a
that
few
much.
charges.
Yeah. So like
And then
I
all
just
the shops here, Shoe.
Yeah,
Foot
I've
Locker,
seen that McDonald's.
Asics,
Yeah.
they're
But
all-
I didn't see the Lewis thing. That must. Yeah.
is it?
Yeah. You haven't said anything compromising yet.
I know, but I don't want my.
That's no bother. Yeah. Fair enough. But yeah. So, guys, people just don't want to be on a live stream. Fair enough. But yeah. Holy moly, this is such a strange life, you know, because it's a strange night. But I've been involved in this for years, so it's personal, you know. This isn't just a spectacle I'm kind of seeing. I've seen this from 2016, 17, 18, when it was me and probably a handful of other people hiding in a pub somewhere, having little conversations. What's that?
The Africans are taking over the protest. They're saying that we won't let them win. The Africans are saying we won't let them win. I don't know. They might be in for a rude awakening. These fucking
Right.
boys.
What do they think?
You're the Sasquatch, are you?
Yeah?
You're the Sasquatch.
No, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Which one? Like?
What was set on fire?
Everything. Lewis bus. Everything. Lots of stuff. Buses. Lewis.
Bombs or roses?
Oh, just I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Yeah. Where there's a will, there's a way, I suppose.
You live streaming there now?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, it's pointed the other way. But Sasquatch, I don't know. Are you?
Did you used to have a name with some sort of?
No.
No, there was a name when you done out. You popped out.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Someone used to say that because I had a beard, isn't it, or something? Oh yeah, that was.
Called you Sasquatch in the video.
You're right. Yeah, that's it.
Popped out of the
Yeah.
forest.
Yeah. That's it.
Like
Yeah.
Costco it
Or
was.
the Blair Witch Project or something. Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
See what's behind the magic door.
This is Are you living Are you from Dublin City?
I would be, yeah.
Yeah.
I would be responsible for the government locking down the country because I got Colleague Plan mentioned on Joe Duffy about 4.5 years ago, and the government panicked and brought in a lockdown and they murdered everybody with their fucking magic technologies.
Yeah, it's been a while, few years. I'll tell you that.
Everyone that was on the scene beforehand is a faker. Like, see this fucker who does all the art, Emmanuel Godson.
Yeah.
And he painted all these people.
He painted me now, so I don't wanna.
Right.
Yeah.
That fella's too engrossed in his work to know who these people are. So someone told him who to fucking paint.
Yeah.
And they're all larpers, everyone he painted.
Do you know
because
what?
they won't challenge the United Nations Migration Pact.
He painted me, so I'm guilty as well.
Yeah. Because
But,
no. He was told who to paint. He doesn't know his arse from his elbow.
Yeah. Well, he's not here to
Still
defend
living with his
himself.
mammy.
He's not here to defend himself.
I
So.
know, but you know.
No, but you know what I mean. He's
He
not
only
here.
painted the larpers.
He's not here to
Because
defend
everyone
himself.
he painted is not allowed to talk about the United Nations Migration Pact, and neither are you, your old wolf. Why don't you bring this crowd out and all your followers? How many is online there?
4,500.
Why don't you bring all
Do you
them
wanna go
now
on?
to meet you at the Department of Justice and challenge the United Nations Migration Pact being signed behind the Irish people's backs by Charlie Flanagan? Do it now. Bring the 4,500, then they'll fucking follow you. And bring your friend from Integrity Ireland, and bring the Count, and bring Philly, bring all your pals. Come on, let's do it now. Or let's reborn the government. Which one do you want?
I mean, I don't know what you're trying to say.
I'm trying to say you're not allowed to talk about the United Nations Migration Pact from the fucking
But who are you saying
Department
told
of Justice.
me? The Department of Justice told me not to talk about something.
No, you're not allowed.
Oh yeah. Well,
You won't fucking challenge it. You'll talk about every fucking thing else, just like all the other pricks.
Right,
These are
right,
all
right.
pricks, larpers, and Emmanuel Goldson proved it by painting it.
because we don't talk about the UN Migration Pact.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay, fair enough.
You're not allowed.
Point taken.
I've challenged
Yeah.
everybody. IRB, every
Sure.
fucker.
Yeah.
The Count,
Yeah.
Integrity Ireland, right? Every one of them. The Irish Inquiry,
Yeah.
Ninja Knight.
Fair enough.
Every one of them are fucking larpers, and
No
they're
bother.
not allowed to mention them.
No bother. Here, look, point taken.
So-
You've made your point, yeah?
Right.
No, fair enough. But
And
thanks.
shout out to your 4,500. Don't be led by larpers.
Don't be led by larpers, he says. Bit of a schizo moment, but that's okay. Anyway, so what have we got going on? It's kind of it's hard to say what's really going on now. It's just I mean, this is like something out of basically a war zone. Let's be honest. Look at these boys. I want to get some of them at their eyes, see them close. I mean, it can't be worth the money. What do these guys get paid? It can't be worth it. And they have to live here as well, like, you know, these are mostly Irish guards, like, cannot be worth it. It's a pity what people will do for a little chunk of change, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, everybody. Yeah, I just saw someone in the chat say what's going on. A number of children and a few adults were stabbed outside of a Gael school, which is an Irish school, in Parnell Square East, in Dublin today, by what is alleged to be an Algerian migrant. This is in the wake of. Sorry, I'm like kissing onto the camera here. This is in the wake of a spate of migrant crime against Irish people, basically. Unvetted people are being brought into hotels and military barracks across the country. This is happening across the West. I think most of you know it. I'm not telling you anything new. So yeah, these children were stabbed and a few adults. I just, sorry to be glib about it, I just don't know the exact numbers. I just came from my ordinary life straight here to start recording and didn't have time to read up. What I'm told is that one of the kids has died since, and that's bad. A child outside of their school, a primary school child outside of their school, from what it sounds like, getting stabbed along with a few other kids and adults at random. Oh, here they are. Yeah, from what Phil Dwyer told me a while ago, I think a boy or a girl, I don't know the gender, has died, was in critical condition and died, which any of you out there who have kids, anybody in general, but especially if you have kids, that's hard to hear. And maybe one of the adults has died as well. And there's been basically what you could call an uprising or a riot or something like that in Dublin, where the whole city centre is shut down. Cars, vehicles are ablaze. It's just chaos. They have riot police. I've heard about army in the city. It's just unreal. And as I've said multiple times, this is a breakdown in social order because of a breakdown in the social contract. It was kind of inevitable, and I don't know how the regime are going to use this to their advantage. Are they going to try to say that any resistance to plantation migration is tantamount to street vandalism? Because it's not. Like your lad said here, they caused it. Yeah, you were saying they caused it?
They caused all this, but not doing it last year and all. Do you know what I mean? They knew there was trouble coming into this country. Everyone told them there was trouble coming in. They didn't listen to people when they told them that, about all the incidents that were happening in Cala, Coolock, everything. And they fucking idiots didn't listen to us when we were all saying we were coming out protesting.
We said as soon as a child is killed, there's going to be.
Do you want to go on camera?
Chaos. No,
that's fine.
There's
That's
huge
fine.
chaos on the streets, and that's what's happening today. It's going to have people that happen. Do you know what I mean? And the people that are right to get out.
I've been saying the same
for the
thing.
fun.
Yeah.
Do I know? I'm
Yeah,
online now all the
they
time,
started
so-
it. They started it. You're grand.
No,
You're
don't
grand.
mind, don't mind.
It's just your voice. But no, you're grand. But you're not saying anything anyway. That's
No, that hasn't.
You're not saying anything wrong.
I know we don't know. The people are absolutely done with this. We're all done with it. The people, all the youngsters, all the fellas in the country are starting to rise up. We're not going to let our kids be abused or fucking murdered by any incoming foreigners, especially when they're all illegal nationals coming in. We don't even know who they are, so they're bringing them in. This is their fault. They have caused this divide and this problem, and we have to deal with it as Irish people. There's no better people to deal with. We deal with it ourselves. If they don't want to deal with it, the guards don't want to deal with it, and take out the illegals, we'll take them out for them.
Yeah, I didn't want to put you on screen, but you're a great man. See you. What's that?
Facebook, John Reese.
Go on.
I'm a big fan, right?
Here, I'll find you. See you. Sorry, maybe I should put people on. I know Phil's great for putting people on, but some people can be dodgy. They don't want to be on camera and stuff. So I always Huh? Do you want to?
Yeah.
Go on, so. Okay, I got a willing participant here. You want to talk on camera?
Participant, you mad bad.
Do you want to say something?
I'm not a participant anyway.
All right, he doesn't want to be a participant, so fair enough. But yeah. So that's it.
I'm on the south side.
You know, it's not too much to ask for just to have an ordinary, sane country. And also, by the way, just a little bit of democracy, right? Like if we had been living, people talk about, oh, this is liberal democracy, creates all this migration, leftism and all this kind of stuff, right? Like if we're being strictly technical about it, if we had any semblance of, so the guards, I'm sorry. You're there. Hey, you.
Come on! Come on!
Yeah.
Need a big bag of
So yeah, I'm kind of on the old front line here a little bit, but what I was going to say is just if we had any bit of democracy, you know, this would not have happened. There was a referendum against birthright citizenship in Ireland in 2004. There's been many polls done. Any chance Irish people get to voice their opinion on mass immigration, plantation immigration, they're unanimously clear on it in a huge majority, let's say, that they're against it, that we're against it. So, yeah. So why are they doing it? You know, this is. They talk about Chinese authoritarianism and stuff. This is worse than any of that. At least China and the likes of Iran, they might not pretend to be democracies as much, but at least they're on the side of their own people. Whereas here we don't have democracy, and they're against us. So it's worse, actually. So they have no right to lecture Russia, China, Iran, any of these people, or any of these other nations, or lots of countries in the global south that are accused of human rights violations and all that. This is worse than anything they do. They're willing to They're willing to burn down they're willing to have the city burned down and enjoy the spectacle, to stay there, instead of just giving people what they want, which is an end to plantation. It'd really be kind of easy. Yeah. Sorry. No, I'm not videoing you. It's videoing everything. But yeah, like yeah, people are a bit paranoid. Obviously, they don't want to be on camera and stuff. Yeah, but
The government won't do anything, the people will.
well, it's not. Yeah, the government are the ones doing it to you. Yeah.
Yeah, listen, the people are going to react if you're letting one invading guard vet into the country.
I know that. Yeah.
These guard gloves, not the point. You know what I mean?
Oh, here. Can I have a look? I won't take them off you. That's class. Here, no, they're yours. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Oh, shit. Oh. Yeah. And you know what? Here's another one. Here's another one I just want to say, right? And I know I'm talking in close to the camera because I don't have a mic, so I want to be heard. Here's the thing. The state tomorrow on what is it? Dahi and Mora, the afternoon show, the evening show, the morning show, the radio when you turn it on in the car. They'd be talking about thuggery and vandalism and all this kind of stuff in Dublin, and how it's far right and it's populist and it's all this kind of stuff, right? They'll be condemning it and using it to demonise the political message here. But at the end of the day, if these people are going to cry crocodile tears for a few broken windows, where were they when Aisling Murphy was being choked and stabbed in the thorns and in the mud on the side of a river? Where were they? Or where are they when girls are routinely raped, sexually assaulted? A girl was raped in Fermoy and thrown out of a taxi by a taxi driver and thrown out to die in hypothermic conditions. Luckily she didn't die. This happens all the time. Girls on a night out in Ireland aren't safe because they're people from a different culture who don't really correspond to that. The state don't really cry for them, okay? They don't make a big deal out of it. They don't put it on Dahi and Mora. They don't put it on TV3 or the news or any of it, or the Late Late Show with whoever's presenting that. They don't do that. They just report it as just something that happened. It's just a crime that happened. It's not a spate of migrant crime against Irish girls who just used to be safe to walk up and down the road and their children to be free to walk around in their own communities. We can't do that anymore because we don't actually know who's around. But they don't say it's a migrant crime, that what happened to Aisling Murphy. In specific, it's a characteristic crime. They don't say that. They just say it was a murder. It was just an unfortunate murder. The woman who was raped in Fermoy, all the hundreds of women that have been raped by unvetted migrants, sexually assaulted. They just say that's just, each one of those is an individual, separate sexual assault. That's just a pity. It's just an unfortunate thing to happen. So, why is it that they don't say the same for this? Why don't they say that, hey, there was a couple of vehicles burned out, a couple of buildings damaged, but they were just crimes. They're just crimes that just happened and they're unfortunate. No, they're going to put a label on it. They're going to identify what type of vandalism happened, who was behind it, what informed it, who is responsible for it, which policies, which political messages stoked and made all this happen. They'll be perfectly happy to do that, but they won't say which policies, which messages, which actions informed what happened to Aisling Murphy. No, they won't. No, that was just an unfortunate murder. And anybody who says anything more, what are they? Far right. Far right. Just like everybody here, apparently. Well, all I would say is that it has to be enough is enough. All the lies about didn't we go everywhere, didn't Irish emigrate, didn't this, that, the other. That's all lies. All those things are complete misdirection, and they don't care when people suffer. They don't care when your daughter dies under some animal in the thorns and in the mud in Tullamore in the middle of the afternoon. To them, they'll just say, hey, that was unfortunate. We'll take it through the court process, and that's all it was. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, everybody, if anybody in the chat or anybody who knows me on WhatsApp or wherever, right, I'm only recording what's in front of me, but there's a lot of stuff going on around the city, different places. There's a lot of stuff going on in different places that I might not know about. I'm hearing about fairly extraordinary things happening in other locations. I can't be sure. So anybody who's watching, who has me on WhatsApp or whatever, or in the chat here, live chat, just let me know what's going on, because I could change the location, if there's something else happening. Yeah. kind of hard to know where to go now, you know, because it's just we're basically on whatever this key is called, just being kind of pushed back bit by bit, that kind of process. But I mean, barring anything strange happening, it kind of is what it is. I'm just here to capture what's happening, not just kind of stand around for hours. You know what I mean?
It's going to keep them picking up. They're going to keep them going, man.
You mean daily, weekly, yeah?
Yeah, it's already been arranged now for all during next week. So if any of you things are listening out there, if you want to come in and join, are you live now?
I'm live, but I'm not pointed at you.
Right, say yeah, no,
Do you want to
don't run! Don't run! Kill them! You fucking wicked damn boy! Come back at them, lads!
People are very, 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 very angry in Dublin City. I'll tell you that. Sorry, just I'm seeing here that there's people in Arnott's Abbey Street. Let me think. Abbey Street. You know, the person who told me that can just remind me where that is. Abbey Street. I'm not a dub, I'm a Corkonian, so I know the city reasonably well, not that well. Abbey Street, Arnott's. I thought that was on Henry Street, but yeah. Oh no, it's the back of Arnott's. Ah yeah, okay. I can't go back up there now because there's riot shields, goon squad, so yeah. Okay, sorry. Yeah. This is crazy. Like I can't quite summon up. Well,
Who are you working with?
who am I working for? Who do you work for?
Nobody.
Not for myself. Garrod Murphy. What's your name?
Jerry.
Jerry. Nice to meet you, Jerry. Okay, so that's Jerry. Sorry, I'm just going to try and work another way around just if I kind of see another location, you know, but yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know what to make of this, you know. Are the regime comfortable with this kind of level of civil unrest? Do they kind of almost, there's some sort of strategy where having sort of Parisian urban unrest is like, you can tolerate a certain amount of it and it's kind of I don't know. I could say a lot about it. I don't know what my thoughts really are though, in a sense, you know, because this is just unprecedented. Big deal. Big deal. This is internationally major. You know, usually when I cover stuff in Ireland, we're a small country, so a certain thing will happen, and in a certain, you know, nationalists around the world kind of pick up on it a little bit. But this is international headline kind of stuff, right? And yet, what's funny too is that, what's funny too on the Halfpenny Bridge here. Just want to get this guy with his flag. It's pretty cool. Yeah. It's crazy because all this stuff about climate change and Ukraine and you know, whatever it is, the usual like blah 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 stuff that you're told is the biggest deal ever that defines our time as a society and all this. We have this stuff flashed in front of us every day, but then they look at Dublin city centre coming to an absolute standstill, complete civil disorder, complete breakdown, social order and a social contract, and I don't know, what are they going to say? Oh, it's just a bunch of thugs. Are they really just going to kind of wave it off, pretend it's just some sort of bad guys? Oh, they're far right, they're this, they're that, they're just bad guys, don't pay attention to them, everything's fine. Are they really going to try and play that? Aren't they going to be forced to sit down and say, okay, look, this stabbing happened and this was a reaction to it, and Aisling Murphy happened and people aren't happy? But it's really just a big bunch of lies. It's made up. It's all made up, guys, don't worry. It's only bad people will tell you that. Only baddies will tell you that. Don't listen to baddies on the internet. We're releasing another report about them from the Institute of Strategic Dialogue. 200,000 for a shite report about a few people posting the truth on the internet. Don't pay attention to that. Well, that only makes sense to a certain point. At a certain point, when you have international news and Dublin city centre is shut down and children have been stabbed, and Ireland is drenched in blood at this point, Irish blood. Well, you know, there's only so much lying you can do. That's what I would say. And how are you meant to lie about this? What lie can you tell to explain this? Does just a bunch of bad people, everyone here, so thousands and thousands of people who did some of the vandalism, but people who are just there in general, and people who support them online, which numbers in the hundreds of thousands, millions, who knows? All of those people, that whole chain of people who are directly on the street, and anybody who agrees. That whole thing is. That's correct. I am live, yeah. But like all of that is just a bunch of bad people who are just nasty. They're just like Lord Voldemort in Harry Potter, Sauron and They're just a bad guy out of an Avengers movie. Don't think about it any more than that. That's what they want you to do tomorrow. So I'll be interested to see what they say. So this is Abbey Street. Dublin. You know what? Dublin, it looks a bit of a mess. It usually is about. It's usually not much better, but it's especially bad tonight. I mean, I see.
Hello, this is BBC for
What? You don't have to hide from me. I won't put you on. Don't worry. I won't put you on anything. But so like, the thing is, I saw a woman there. That's just a couple of young girls there giggling at the camera, right? As they do. But another person I saw just there was tripping over like debris. I saw a woman walk past there, a grown woman. She was kind of bourgeois, let's say, probably on the way for mimosas and sushi down by the quay, right? Probably working for a multinational, doing pretty well. Irish, at least on the face of it, she kind of looked that way, maybe, probably was. And she kind of had that look, I've seen it before, where she kind of looks at the whole thing like it's some sort of, she's kind of like this embarrassing little thing she has to walk through. Like, oh God, there's something strange going on here. It's kind of silly. It's a very strange. I saw it at Google a few years ago when people were protesting outside there. It's a very strange look. Like they're above it, and yet they're surrounded by flaming rubbish and complete social breakdown. And yet it's cocktail time. That's the weird thing. You know, everything's fine. Everything is totally fine. This is totally just another spectacle that you just walk past and ignore. Absolutely surreal to me, you know. They barely even inquire as to what happened, like why, you know. Oh, it's just something strange happening. Very like these kind of Batman Gotham City type of things where, you know, you see the Waynes or whatever, or the rich people inside as Rome burns outside the window. So there's a little bit of that. I just spotted that, the look in a girl's eye there as she walked by. She thought that was interesting. Look, I don't know, maybe I should wrap it up. I'm just going to see any other WhatsAppers or live chatters can let me know if there's somewhere else they want me to go. Someone says, is Philip okay? Last I spoke to him, he had apparently got hit by guards a little bit. Said he wasn't, he was sore, hurt. So I don't know. What? 4,600.
Can we be on it? Tell them Ireland's not like this every day.
Okay, what's Ireland usually like?
Great.
Are you happy? Do you know why this happened?
Yeah, because there was kids killed at
yeah.
Crash today.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be a peaceful protest.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was meant to be peaceful.
Why wasn't it peaceful?
Because too many kids came and forgot the reasons.
But
that
there's a
we were
peaceful
doing.
on Saturday.
Are you living in Dublin City?
Dublin, yeah.
Okay, you're so young. You probably
21.
Oh, are you? Okay, so do you remember? Have you seen Dublin change a lot?
Yeah.
Like, as in, there's barely any Irish people here.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And are you? You're obviously okay. So you finished school. Are you like
Yeah.
working, or what's the story?
Yeah.
Just doing your own. Okay, so in like school or work or any of that, you can't say. You couldn't say to someone, "I don't like the fact that." Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you probably, and then if they found you online, you wouldn't be able to get a job or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So basically, like you basically be afraid. Like you'd be afraid to say, right?
Yeah, but it's not. You're not afraid of.
I'm not putting you on camera. By the way.
No, it's okay. You're not afraid of all foreigners. You're afraid of the ones that come in that you don't know.
Yeah,
and they're unvetted. But
Yeah.
we don't mind the ones that come for a job, build a better life.
Yeah.
It's not
fair that they come into our country and they're handed stuff on our own. We have our
Yeah.
own homeless sitting
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the streets, bleeding cold.
Do you know what
Children
I
on the street.
what
and
I
then
say?
have
What
these
I
people coming in and they're staying in places that.
yeah.
People
Oh, like
our own
hotels and
people.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were given that like the night they came and ours.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
she was,
yeah.
like, years.
Ours and other people over 15,000 homeless.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
And yeah, I know. And if you don't have a medical card, you, but you're still poor, you have to pay for it, and you won't have money, so you might actually not go. And you might get sick. You might actually get to die, basically, because you don't go. You miss something. Whereas those people walk in no bother, and they're not even Irish. You know. So.
We don't even have passports to come into the country.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
the problem. We don't know who they're letting in. And
Of course,
like, what
yeah.
happened Today with them kids, nobody knew.
But the main
who
thing,
he was.
you know, you could solve that. You could have a conversation about that with the government,
Yeah, and they still
and you could
don't.
figure it out. But they don't want to talk to you.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
They
If
don't.
we
They
could
don't.
actually,
They get too much money for bringing
But
these
this
people
is the
in.
problem.
Yeah,
That they don't care about people that are here.
Your comments are probably like, what are they all saying?
What are they saying?
Are they saying we're making no
I don't know if
sense?
they can even hear you. I'm sure they can. But yeah, I'm just talking to two
Dublin
ladies
girls.
here. Yeah, two Dublin girls. But so basically, most people would be listening to me here would basically agree with everything you're saying.
No,
You know what I
because
mean?
it is true. You don't mind the ones that come to work and to like bring their family, build a better life. But the ones that just come over for
Like Ashley Murphy, like
Yeah.
that was someone from another country who had previous convictions.
Yeah.
Like bad convictions.
Yeah.
And he was allowed into our country and he done that.
And he spent 10 years cycling around on his bike looking for
Yeah,
somebody to
you know
stab
what I
him.
mean?
Yeah,
Like-
yeah.
Like innocent people.
Like we
them
never,
kids up
what
there
happened
with
tonight,
babies, like,
we
you know
never
what I
had
mean?
anything ever like
Yeah.
that in
No.
Ireland, ever.
So
This
I'm
is
like,
the kind
yeah.
of shit that happens in
But like
America,
I'm older than you. I'm 32, and
Yeah.
but when I was a kid, I grew up in Cork. We we could go wherever we wanted. We were
Yeah.
free to go because our parents knew everyone.
Yeah.
They knew like if there was
Yeah,
a,
even,
if, like if there was
when
there was probably one or two dodgy fellas, but you knew who they
Yeah.
were, and so you know.
You'd look out for them.
Whereas now you don't know who's who, so you just
even
can't
walking
explain.
home, like even here during
Yeah.
the night, you never feel safe even walking home. Like you know,
Yeah.
you don't feel safe in your own space. We
Yeah.
only live like 10 minutes away from here, and you still wouldn't feel safe.
No, I don't like Dublin at all. I feel bad.
It's so
Yeah.
unsettling. Like
For
Yeah.
babies to go into school and come out and not alive, like it's not.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's
not
crazy.
at
It's
all.
crazy. And like people don't actually think about that baby. Well, I don't know how old the kid was that died.
7, I think.
7. Now, I hate to talk about it like this, but the fact is, she didn't. That not only did that child have to die, that child had to be scared while they died,
while they're-
and that's not
And
right.
it's
Like,
not, the ones that didn't get hurt, they still witnessed it. They're still going to
Yeah.
be traumatized for the
Yeah.
rest of their life, you know.
yeah, yeah,
I was in a place that she shouldn't feel scared. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She shouldn't be.
Yeah.
She shouldn't feel scared at school. Like,
Yeah.
and then there's other kids in that school never going to feel scared. Not
course they
only
are, yeah.
them, it's what they're affecting
Yeah, yeah.
on that whole
And it's
school.
so close to home, like it's
Yeah.
right city centre. It's so
Yeah.
close to home, you know.
yeah,
It's
It's
crazy,
bad.
it is.
Well,
And this is the outcome.
yeah. But do you know what they're going to do tomorrow? Is go on the newspaper and say
Yeah,
everybody in
shame
here is
on
bad.
you.
Yeah. So.
But this is what it takes for
But like,
people.
is it a couple of broken windows is like the end of the world?
Yeah,
But
think it out.
Aisling Murphy and like the broken windows were far right.
Yeah.
But Aisling Murphy's murderer wasn't a
Or
migrant.
that little baby
You know,
that died
like
today,
like what happened here happened because of far right. What happened to Aisling Murphy was just a coincidence.
Yeah.
It just happened magically.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
That was
Like,
choice.
They haven't even announced.
Sorry, can
What's
I ask
this?
you,
Yeah.
how long do you think they're going to have the streets closed off? Because my hotel is on that side.
Oh man,
I don't know.
I'd say where's your hotel?
They're letting
It's,
people
it's by the
through.
river. It's Arlington Hotel.
It's on the river.
By the river, sure.
Yes,
Oh,
they're
okay.
letting people
Around the
through.
corner.
Just explain it and say
I would say just very carefully because they're very tense.
Yeah.
They might like hit you.
Yeah,
So if you just very
They
carefully
almost do.
approach them and say they're going to know by looking at you you're not go riding. Just say, hey, my hotel is there. Do you mind if I just go through? They'll let you
Because you
through.
think they might
One-
have the streets closed off until...
No, but either. What I'm saying is,
crowds are gone from there.
I'm saying even if they are closed off, you just approach the officers and say, I'm just going to my hotel. They'll let you through.
I feel like
don't
right
know.
now.
Yeah.
Well, that's the only thing I can
What do
even
you? What do you? So you're here for a holiday or vacation, right?
job interview.
Job interview. Really? For how many days?
Just 2 nights. So interviews
Okay. Are you
tomorrow.
from Germany?
Lithuania.
Lithuania. Okay. Sorry.
No,
But do you know what happened?
Yeah, I heard about it.
Yeah?
Now I looked at the news. Yeah.
Okay, so
I
you
was
know,
just- I just-
do you know what instigated what the riot came after, right? There's
Stabbing.
Stabbing, yeah. So it's your first time in Ireland?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you from Vilnius?
Yeah.
How does I'm live but disappointed at the ground? You could be anybody, right? So you can speak freely. How would you compare Dublin to Vilnius? Does it seem?
It's a bigger city.
Yeah.
It seems a bit more lively.
Yeah.
In some sense.
Yeah.
It's different but similar at the same time. Because
Okay.
we also have old towns with
Yeah.
tourist attractions and bars and everything.
I'm just curious, one is because this is central to all this protest stuff. In Vilnius, are most people, the vast majority of people in Vilnius, Lithuanian?
In Vilnius now it's been changing the last couple of years because of the Ukraine war.
Yes,
more and more refugees from Belarus and Ukraine are coming,
Okay,
so
okay.
there's more and more.
Would you have a lot of like Middle Eastern, African sort of? It would be very rare, would it? Very rare sort of sight.
I mean, you
once in a while
you see them,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's not as common
Yeah,
as
yeah.
in these countries.
And what's the integration like between Ukrainians, Belarusians, and Lithuanians? Because the countries are close, so
Yeah,
there
but
should
the
be.
languages are different, so
Okay,
that's
okay.
the unfortunate thing because now we do hear more and more Russian language in the streets, and
Yeah.
Lithuanians are start to feel that maybe there is a bit too much Russian language in the streets.
I understand, yeah. And but do people feel unsafe, or do they just feel a bit alienated?
No,
It's not about unsafety.
No, it's not about
Because one of the issues in Dublin about now is basically people are saying that a lot of people are being coming from high crime countries and stuff like that, and so there's extra crime. And one of the things that's said as well is that from some of these dangerous countries, some of the worst people from those countries, from prisons, are being released and told, go to Ireland, it's open. Anybody can go there, you can just stay in a hotel and get like a passport, right?
Yeah.
So you have so many people. I don't want to make you uncomfortable. I know this is politically incorrect, but basically I'm just explaining to you the reason the whole city has gone crazy is because there's this whole political dynamic happening here, So, and I know it's not. I know. Oh, I know that. I know. But it's not really like that in Eastern Europe, right?
Yeah, we don't get we don't have that as many people from those third countries.
Like outside of Europe, let's say, but it's crazy, I know people in Lithuania and Eastern Europe look at the west of Europe and they don't want to be like Western Europe, right? Like there's a cultural allergy to
It depends on which context and which topics you're talking about.
Oh, you see it with like mass migration, feminism, all this kind of stuff. There's sort of almost like a more right-wing culture in the East, But so I just, it's just interesting. I would love to hear what you're going to tell your friends when you get to Vilnius. So I was in Dublin. I was having an interview, and it's a long story, and these crazy riots. But I don't want to take your time up. But I would say just approach them and walk through.
Could you help me approach them together, and then I just talk to them?
Yeah, sure. Let's go. Yeah. Is your hotel nearby?
Yeah, it is nearby because I was standing by the river watching the other side of the river.
Yeah.
And then I see they are coming on my side of the river.
Right, okay, yeah.
So, and then it just closed down.
Yeah. Now, I am... Got a bit of an audience here. Yeah. It's gone down a bit now, 3,500, because basically people were here for the action, and it's kind of dying off now. I'm just going to tell people what's your name? Okay, no name. I was speaking to a gentleman here I'm not from Lithuania. We're having a chat, and I'm just escorting. Oh, okay. Let's go. Basically, don't worry, I'm not identifying you. He was trying to get back to his hotel, and he was trying to go through the police. I said, I'll walk you down to them, and we'll see can we get you over the line. But they look pretty aggressive and mean, so I retract my offer. Sorry. Good luck.
More smart.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. But hey, it's more of a story to tell, Yeah. Is the interview tomorrow or today?
Tomorrow afternoon. So
good luck.
Have some time.
Good luck. See you. So it's kind of Lithuanian dude there. Interesting how he sort of clammed up when I started talking about reality. Understandably. So guys, maybe it's time to wrap it up. I'm just trying to see what people are texting me here.
It's not crazy.
What's up?
It's not crazy.
Yeah, sorry. Can you not get up there?
No entry.
Not up to O'Connell Street, no? Oh, okay. Right. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, we're trapped in Dublin.
Box us in, I think.
Huh? Box us in?
Yeah.
I mean, who? Everybody? I mean, there's tourists here.
Apparently.
There's tourists here with nothing to do with it.
No, yeah, well, you know, me and my dad are tourists, and we were just walking back from Temple Bar. And
You and your who?
my dad and my father.
Oh, okay. Cool. So you're here as a tourist?
Yeah, we're as a tourist.
It's pretty, I know it's not exactly what you might have in mind, but there's definitely, it's exciting in its own way, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is it like a story to tell?
It's not boring. That's one way to put it.
But it is a pity in a way too that it has to be like this. Are you from Europe somewhere?
We're from Holland.
Holland, okay, cool.
Just across the pond.
Are you in a city or?
Just a sec.
No worries. Yeah. I won't keep you. Hey, nice to meet you. You too. Just making chit chat there with oh, here they come. Wow. This is getting really weird because holy moly, they're really coming for us here, lads. I mean, look at them. It's hard to work out what's going on. So they're running at people here, all right? And they're running at people, but I don't know what the point of it is. Like, people are telling me they can't get out of Dublin, basically. So every corner we turn is just a goon squad. Sorry, come here. Do you know? Do you know how to get out of here?
I'm not going out down there.
Well, I haven't tried down there. Like, I'm trying to get up to that way, but like.
You won't allow you.
Yeah.
I think we will get out.
Right. Okay, so basically, guys, at this point I'm just trying to get out of town, to be honest. Yeah, they're saying it's shut off up there. I don't really know. It's hard to find a way to move around here at all. I'm going to try to go the long way, so yeah. Wow, well, this was one for the ages. You know, this is really basic stuff, because you can't prevent every crime from happening, you can't predict every crime and all that, but you can kind of minimize, and you can not do things that, safe home, see ya. You can do things, you can't prevent all these crimes from happening. Here they go again, the goon squad. But you can avoid doing things that are sure to create more crime, danger and volatility. One of those things would be bringing in hundreds of thousands of unvetted random people from God knows where in the whole world, right? That kind of is common sense. And I was just thinking about it earlier, you know, when these kids getting killed in Ashling Murphy and others, and children now across Ireland are going to think about this. They're going to hear about it, even though children shouldn't hear about this. But they will inevitably hear about it. The parents are watching the news. Daddy, what happened? And they're going to be sort of told. And they're going to think. So a child can just be stabbed at random. No rhyme or reason, I'm assuming. Just be stabbed by some lunatic who, God knows who he is, shouldn't have been in the country. This is happening a bit too much, this kind of stuff. These random violence incidents. And so, obviously, the primary victims are the children, especially the child that died today. But actually, beyond that as well, all of society is victimised by this, because every child in Ireland is going to be worried about it now. They're going to think, I didn't know that could happen to children, mommy and daddy. I didn't know that you could leave school and someone would just stab you to death. Now I'm kind of scared. And mommy and daddy will say, that's not going to happen to you, it's 1 in a million. It's unlikely. And they're right, it's no matter how bad it gets, it's never going to be that likely to happen to you. But it's possible. These things can now happen. These things do happen now with increasing frequency. So kids now have their innocence taken away, right? More than they already have. now they now this is part of the new normal now. And it's our job as adults to make it so that kids don't have to think that that's normal, so that society is a good place and a generally safe place for them and their innocence. And we're not doing that. We're allowing tyrants, profiteers, and compradors. Sorry, yeah, you alright? Here, go away. No bother. But
you don't really know the real news, do you?
I know.
No, you don't. He might treat you normal.
Yeah.
The way he homeless people is unreal.
No bother. I know what you mean.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
He's doing this every day.
Oh yeah, I hear you. Yeah. So yeah. What's the crack? You can't get home.
No, this way. We cannot get home. If everyone keep their dollars, go this way.
Right. So yeah, there you go. Look, I'm just staying live because look at this. This is funny, isn't it? I mean, it's just people having a nice time. I don't begrudge them, but it's just sort of there's something surreal about it. It's weird, isn't it? Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Having cocktails and drinks and stuff, which is, hey, I'd love one, right? I would go for one if I wasn't going to be driving, but it is weird. More goon squad here running.
Hey, that's free. This free.
Oh wait, no, sorry, that's just a normal person. I thought it was the police. Yeah. I don't know. I've just been saying it for years. All they have to do is just stop being total lunatics and listen to people a little bit, and this all goes away. So yeah, it's pretty basic.
Walkers don't know where you are. Wow. Heavy tide. What's the plan? Move it east with these two players on the ground. Moving? Yeah, Carnage. They're struggling to turn as well. Go back now. I'm struggling. See what's going down. Yeah, it's close. Big house. Okay, it's good.
Right.
So,
yeah.
You can walk that way, left or right or this way, you know, like wherever is better for you. You know?
Fucking clown show. It's crazy. Sorry. I don't know, you know. There needs to be, just while I'm here, I'm just walking to the next location to see what happens. In my opinion, but by the way, big shout out to Conor McGregor. He's got a big platform. He's got a lot to lose, but he could also just enjoy his life, just on his yacht, having fun, doing a fight here and there. But he's actually using his platform and his voice to support the people who got him to where he is, basically. His whole base of support was realistically working class sort of Dublin people. That was his real constituency. He came out of that world. Yeah,
very happy. Your experience in Dublin?
I'm very happy. Yeah, I love Dublin. Yeah, this is a great night.
Like what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, it's pretty mad. Yeah.
Like you're in America now.
Or fucking like
Gaza. Like a terrorist.
Or Kosovo or something like that.
Yeah. Bosnia.
Yeah, Bosnia. That's it. Yeah, that's a good one. So yeah, Bosnia and Dublin. But it's just no. But for Conor McGregor, I'm extremely grateful to what he's doing, using his voice, because there's a lot of people who are against this. online. I'm doing my thing and all that, but where are the big voices? The people who are the heavy hitters, no pun intended. They're kind of not there. Their influence largely depends on like regime stuff. So you look at any, all these celebrities and stuff. They have to be on the regime tit, so to speak. And Connor's bucking against that, and he's doing his own thing. Okay, we got something going on here. Yeah. But I'm going to use this opportunity to try to get across here. Yeah. It's just a little bit of activity going on there. But yeah, Connor's using his platform, and he's doing it on no uncertain terms as well. He's not sugarcoating it, and he's got a serious following, and he's got serious respect from people, I think. And so it's major stuff. It'll be interesting to know what he says about this and about the unfortunate, the tragedy, what happened earlier on Parnell Square. But it's a big deal to have him there. What I think is necessary is for the almost like a glasnost or whatever after the Soviet Union. There needs to be a thing where the NGOs are shut down. These kind of harassment, particularly the ones that harass people who they call far right. They harass people who talk about migration and stuff like that and try to ruin their lives and stuff. Those people needs to be ended. People need to be prosecuted for doing that, because I feel it was done to me, and I feel like my rights were completely shut down there. And stuff like people being sacked from their jobs, not being allowed to say certain things, all of that needs to be cleared out. And then step one begins, where you start having a conversation, a political, media, civilized conversation about an open conversation, not a controlled one, about this plantation migration. And we can have that conversation when everybody is told that they are safe to have the conversation. You can now have the conversation, and you're protected to have it. So you can be against mass immigration, and that's fine. You're protected. Your rights are protected if you talk about it. I think that's essential, because then we can talk about it, and once we start talking about it, we can solve the problem. And we can have referenda or referendums, whatever it is, and we can try to fix the country. As Conor McGregor said, something along the lines of halt and reverse what's happened. A bit of reversing needs to happen. It doesn't mean that you purge every last person who isn't totally Irish out of the country, of course, obviously. In my opinion, there's some people here who've been here a long time, raised their families, came here legitimately, integrated, all of that. That's reasonable to a point. But certainly anyone in any of these plantation centres, that's step one, gone, out. Stuff like that. Common sense measures. Again, you start around the edges. People can debate how thorough you would be with this kind of reform of the system or the demographics and the migration here. But we start reasonably. You start with the low-hanging fruit, the easy stuff, and then as you go, you debate, well, what's reasonable here? I think Irish people have always been reasonable, tolerant, welcoming, good people. So I don't think there should be any fear of any bad stuff. We've had a lot of 20 years now of millions of migrants coming in and their rights coming before Irish people. I think Irish people need to have some rights now for a while. We need a couple of decades of Irish rights, of promoting Irish people, getting our diaspora to return, all the nurses who are stuck in Australia who don't want to be there, getting them to return, clearing out the gombeans, clearing out the excess influence multinational corporations have in the country. That all needs to be reviewed, and just become a basic nation state. Normal, even to the extent we have multiculturalism. Singapore has multiculturalism, right? Famously, they don't do this kind of stuff. So to say that, hey, there's some diversity, so we need to have this totalitarian nightmare, open borders, social dysfunction nightmare. We need it because that's in the spirit of multiculturalism. It's actually not strictly. Look at Singapore. They don't take any asylum seekers. and they're very judicious about who they take into their country. So these things are not, you can actually have a certain amount of some of the better elements of liberal democracy. You can have a bit of diversity and multiculturalism, which is baked into the cake in Ireland to a point. You can have some of that, but you can have a sensible state that balances the cultural priorities and all of that. They don't intentionally try to sow this sort of chaos and destruction. So I don't know. You know what I mean? What the point I'm trying to make is that whatever your views on how we reform the immigration situation, whether you're very radical or very mild about it, we need to start with being mild anyway. Step one is just to start with some of the obvious things. That's what I'm saying. I'm not advocating moderation necessarily. I'm saying I'm advocating us to start moderate now. Basically first things first is what I'm saying. And first things first is clearing out the NGOs, the Gombeans, the plantation centres, the multinational corporation influences, the Chuck Feeney foundations, the HR departments lecturing people for being so-called white, and demonising Irish people, making Irish people afraid to kind of have an identity and talk about migration, all that stuff. That's day one. And I think until the state is willing to sit down and actually do that, then this kind of unrest and chaos and destruction and negativity is just going to get worse and worse and worse. It has to change, basically. And every person in this country knows full well what's going on. But if you turn on the TV or the radio, it all looks like it's sunshine, rainbows and lollipops. Everything's grand. Turn on Fair City and everybody's getting on fantastically, except for Fergal, the far right character, is ruining everything. That's what they're trying to tell all the boomers what to believe. But no, it's not just one bad guy. How do you get the entire Dublin city centre shut down on a Thursday night? Just from a couple of bad guys who are saying bad things and stirring up trouble. You don't get that. There's no way of... You can't lie around that. What's the story? How are you, bud? But yeah, so that's it. Look, I don't want to ramble. So I will just flip the camera around and see if anything else happens, and then I'll get out of here.
Oh my God, it has a space.
Yeah, that's a picture.
So yeah, just basically I'm coming up here to kind of where it all began, where the stabbing happened earlier. I'm kind of up this way as well, and I'll leave it there then, but yeah, one of the things people can do, I saw a woman called her name was Loretta. She was in Cootehill, and she was posting something on her Facebook. This is some random woman. Her screenshot was posted online on Twitter. She's talking about how she doesn't want her town to become like the town down the road, which got overran by unvetted migrants and all that. She was very brave, and she came out with a call to rise up in all of this. And this is just I don't know this person, but I was thinking, coming out on not an anonymous account, but on your own hometown Facebook group or whatever it is, just coming out with the reasonable but unvarnished truth and just saying it like it is, and being at I don't mean to ruin parties for people, but if you're chatting to some people here or there, just talk about it. Just say, it's crazy what's going on, isn't it? They go, what do you mean what's going on? You go, this mass immigration stuff, the way they're just bringing in more and more people. Look at the house prices, look at the danger on the street, all this stuff. It's crazy what's happening, isn't it? Put them on the spot, because chances are the vast majority of people agree with you. But just start saying it, I would say that's a good start, to just be frank about it, because what they have is basically people are just afraid of getting sacked from their jobs, so everybody pretends it's all going swimmingly when everybody knows it's not. So I would say just kind of speak up in your own little way, whether you're an activist or streamer or whatever, or if you're just in your Facebook group at home. The latter might even be more important. There's more power to people, ordinary people who aren't being activists or speaking in streams, to just organically speak up in their own communities. That's not going to solve the problem at all, but it's essential. Every little stitch you knit in the fabric is good. You might not think it's anything, but it's definitely leading to something. It always is. Always doing one little thing, saying one little bit of truth to one person you might have avoided saying it to. All those little things add up, so it's a bit of a big deal. So we're here on just before I leave you, we're on Parnell Square. Gardaí here are blocking everything off. This is the scene of the crime, literally, and so we have mainstream media here. I'm not Phil Dwyer, so I'm not going to interrupt. I mean, God bless Phil, I love him when he does it, but I just don't have it in me. I don't have that confrontational gene that he has, unfortunately. But forgotten his name, just another rat.
It's the Steve.
Yeah, I recognise the face, obviously. So they lie about this. So what they're going to say, I've said this already, but what they're going to say is that Aisling Murphy's death and the death of this child and the stabbing of these children was completely unrelated to anything to do with migration, plantation, unvetted. Oh, you're right. Unvetted mass migration, government sponsored. It's got nothing to do with that. It's just a random incident. Incidents just happen in isolation. But what happened here tonight was far right. It was related to everything anyone ever said nationalist. Anything anyone ever said against migration is directly connected to this, right? So, yep. I don't know who he's talking about, but do you see what I mean? Do you see the discrepancy there? That these are just isolated incidents when children die and girls are stabbed to death. But when a few windows get smashed, it's directly connected to political beliefs and decisions and ideologies and views. You see the irony there? How they almost prioritise and elevate views, broken windows and a burnt bus. Being against mass immigration in your country is responsible for that. What they will call mob violence and all this. But if you say the government's policies of mass migration and unvetted plantation, or whatever you want to call it, if you say that's kind of connected to like Aisling Murphy's death, like if your man wasn't here, that wouldn't happen. They say, oh no, you can't say that. It's just something that happened, right? So that's what makes me most sick, to be honest, is that exact hypocrisy. And all of these, of course, so-called like journalists or whatever with their big lights are here to promote these kind of lies, to lie to your face. And the other thing too is that the guards are told effectively from the top that people who are against mass immigration are their enemies, are the bad guys, are their enemy number one. All their training against the so-called Hibernian Liberation Front and their drills, their riot squad drills and all this, they've been willing this on for a long time. They knew their policies would lead to a backlash, and so they've been training the guards accordingly, ideologically training them effectively against the people who they're meant to serve, Irish people, to turn them into the enemy. Irish people who stand up for themselves, I mean. So if there's like a Black Lives Matter identitarian march, that's perfectly good. We need community liaison for that, and we need to sing and dance and get along and be gentle. But when Irish people march for their identity and in defence of their own people, that is a far-right, evil Nazi mob that needs to be penned in, kettled, destroyed, demonised, sacked, fired, arrested. Bum. Just want to see, can I talk to someone here? Do you want to talk? No? Fair enough. Okay. I had a fan favourite there, someone people like, but he doesn't want to talk. I know the feeling. I might leave it there, so. It's over here, right? To dance on. Just wondering, what's kind of the crack now? Like, if you've been here for a while, we've only been here for right. We just try and have a broadcast and try and why don't you do that? Because we went to 2 minutes past 2 and started.
Yeah.
I don't know if we
James Michael.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're playing smart now.
Something, there's a chance here. We just loads of orders. Something, instead of standing here like fucking dead.
Here, why don't you do it?
Well, we did a few minutes ago, but he wasn't live, and then they moved us away.
Are they live now? Is he talking?
They're live now, yeah. But we should be shouting like loud, fucking close the borders. Why not? Like, I'm not going to be the only one to do it.
Sam, you can do it, but it's pointless. We did it before beside the camera. Remember, beside the camera.
You start.
Close the borders!
Close the borders! Close the borders! Close the borders! Close. Why? What's the problem?
Close the borders!
You're causing an offence under the Public Order Act, okay?
In which way?
You can record all you want.
Yeah.
Close the borders!
You've made your
Close the borders! Close the borders! Close the borders! Do you get this point?
Do they?
You know what's happening here in this country, and you're going to have to deal with it, lads.
Do you? Come here. Do you?
We care about you and your families.
No problem. Look, you've made your point.
No, but do you?
We're going to continue making our point.
Come here.
now
When
until
a climate change. When a
Close
climate.
the borders!
He says fuck off. Yeah.
Close the borders! Close the borders!
You know they threaten with public order offence, try to arrest you, right? Hey.
Fucking do something! Do something! Right, somebody asked could they bring my daughter to a fucking play in the gate for Christmas the other day, and I said no! Because I'm afraid my daughter's gonna get fucking stabbed! And now look what happened here today! A 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 7-year-old! Fucking shame on the fucking lot of you. Shame on anybody who supports any of it.
Gardy, you're complicit in what's going on.
All the people who come in here and work hard, they're at risk too. Don't fucking forget that.
Yeah, you too. Hopefully. Yeah. The guards with their public order offence bullshit. They've suddenly discovered they can arrest anyone they want for shouting if they don't like what they believe. You can be sure if you're at a state-sponsored climate change demonstration or you name it, something like that, and people were shouting and jeering, well, that would be their constitutionally protected right to protest, right? But suddenly when you're shouting over the anointed journalists and you're saying something that the state doesn't like, the Guardian march over to you, threatening to arrest you, up in my face, threatening to arrest me for what? Standing there. They're very contemptible at this point, I have to say.
No, just in general.
See what this guy is saying.
Essex store on O'Connell Street as well is effectively, as I said, one of the main shopping streets, but also the main historic thoroughfare right through Dublin City Centre. All of this stemmed essentially from the violent incident that we saw here.
So they're worried about a few pairs of shoes.
There's a primary school down here on the left.
This is interesting.
And at lunchtime today, a vicious and unprovoked attack was carried out on a group of school children, and a woman in her 30s was also injured. They were taken to hospital. One of those, a girl aged just 5 years old, was in a very serious medical condition, receiving emergency treatment in hospital a bit earlier on. Now, the man, the chief suspect, although he is indicated currently as a person of interest, is also receiving hospital treatment this evening. It's regarding saying that currently, while they can rule out, for example, terrorism as a motive, they cannot establish what the motivation of this attack is. Just at this time, but they are keen to reassure people they are not looking for anything else in connection with the stabbing. Then, as the violence and street disorder progressed during the evening, there was an appeal from Drew Harris. He's the commissioner, the highest ranking police officer in Ireland.
Okay, I've had enough of that. Yeah. Okay, look, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to see if some of my friends are okay. I've heard that some of them might have been injured by the regime forces, otherwise known as the Gardaí. So I'm kind of worried about them. I hope everything's okay. Yeah, look, I don't know what to say. Speechless in a way. But thanks for joining me. And talk soon. Bye-bye.